What's up, you guys? We just had a crazy thunderstorm. I'm Hamza, the professional car spotter, and I just discovered something special right here. Somebody's very own passion project, this M3, with the cinematic sunset for the backdrop. All right, let's get into it. So this right here is a E92 M3 of the E90X generation. They came in 3 different body styles. The coupe, as you see right here, a beautiful 4-door sedan, and the convertible. So the 4-door sedan was the E90 and the convertible was the E93. Some people say they should have made, or they did make, an E91, which would be a wagon M3. I haven't confirmed if there's a real one or not, but there are plenty of clones out there. All right, so this generation was a big step up from the E46 in many, many ways. This was the same era that Formula One and BMW found each other again. Simultaneously, while BMW and Formula One were having their reunited and it feels so good party, the competition for the M3 was getting bigger and more exotic. So naturally, BMW decided to go bigger and more exotic too in 2007. And the best way to do that was to add 2 more cylinders from the inline 6 setup that BMW was already known for with their M cars. But they didn't go up to just any V8 option. What they did was get the S65 V10 that you find in the beautiful E60 M5 and chop off 2 cylinders from that. And that was the beginning of the S65 4-liter V8 that revs to the moon and back, hitting a red line of 8,400 RPM with a compression ratio of 12:1. And of course, the famous individual throttle body setup that BMW is known for in every single one of its M cars, making the response time so much quicker. That throttle response is so juicy, and you have the option of a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed dual clutch transmission to get that power down to the wheels. I'm always a fan of the clutch. I am a manual diehard. However, the shifter did feel a little rubbery for me when I drove the few examples of this amazing car, but that's nothing a short shifter can't fix. The clutch is good. I still rather have it than the dual clutch, even though you could get way better track numbers in the dual clutch. So that resulted in the exotic sex machine of a M car that we have here today, with the John Lennon writing on the side, looking all intellectual and shit. So this example is an M3 competition. They had a carbon roof. This was one step above the base model. After this, we have our first rare Pokemon card of an M3 from this chassis, and that is the Lime Rock edition. They only made 200 of them. This featured the fire orange paint that you see here, lightweight wheels, and they took some of the sound deadening out and stiffened the chassis up ever so slightly to make it a little more hardcore. It's rare. Don't ask me any more questions about the flat rock, because after that you have an even more rare, more cool, more everything, even more displacement. It went up to a 4.4 liter from the 4.0 that it was before, making 444 horses. Ugh. Not only did it gain more horsepower, it lost some weight, and it got an even cooler aero package. They took even more insulation out of this one. They swapped out the windows for lightweight polycarbon glass. It had adjustable coilovers, also an adjustable wing that you can see, so more aero, as I said earlier. And it was even more rare because there were 150 units made that Lyoto Machida did not get his hands on, thank God. But wait, there's more. One more to be exact. And this one is one of the rarest BMW M cars ever. Ever. It is one of the most collectible cars that BMW has ever brought into existence. Wallahi, I swear. You don't have to take my word for it, but there were like 67 units, and Lyoto Machida wasn't allowed to put his hands on a single one. And that is the E90 M3 CRT, which I think means Club Racing Technica or Touring. I don't know. Comment below if you know what it means. So, this right here is powered by the same 4.4 liter stroked out monster that you have in the GTS. However, it doesn't have the gaudy bodywork that did. Although it has a carbon fiber hood and carbon fiber seats. This thing is super rare. I have to emphasize again, the rarest ever. So rare that it demands blood money even. Like blood diamonds, blood diamond money and stuff. I still think they should have put the carbon fiber seats in the GTS because that's supposed to be the super track package. Did they? They might have, but I don't think they did. If they didn't, they should have. Since not all of us have Lyoto Machida and Vin Diesel privileges, there are more attainable variants of this M3 that you could get. And yes, these will hold value, especially if you can find yourself an E92 ZCP comp with a 6-speed manual transmission, because that is just the sweet spot. It will age like fine wine, and that resale value will have your pockets feeling so divine, like you didn't lose a dime. That was the brief history of the E90X M3. If you guys fucked with it, which I hope you did, check out the brief history of the 442 Oldsmobile Hearst.